Today's book is Dizzy Dean and the Gashouse Gang, written by Carolyn Mueller, illustrated by Ed Koehler, and read by Carolyn Mueller.
Hi guys, my name is Carolyn Mueller, and I am the author of 6 children's books, including Dizzy Dean and the Gashouse Gang, which is the story of Dizzy Dean, one of the pitchers for the St. Louis Cardinals in the 1930s. So thank you for joining me today and learning a bit of Cardinals history as we begin Dizzy Dean. The name is J. Roy Stockton. I'm a reporter, and the St. Louis Cardinals are my beat. I'm here to tell you about a bunch of ball players who look rough and play rougher. We call them the Gashouse Gang. The leader of this gang is a few cards short of a full deck. He changes his name as often as I change my underwear. But that crazy pitcher has a knack for making batters look dizzy. He claims a lot of different names, but we call him Dizzy. Dizzy Dean. Off the field, he's known to make trouble, especially when third baseman Pepper Martin. One time, Cards manager Frankie Frisch was minding his own business when BAM! A water balloon exploded right at his feet. It's no better on the field. When Frank tells Dizzy to throw fastballs, Diz throws curves. When he says give him the curve, Diz brings the heat. Dizzy and Pepper usually ham it up. One hot summer day at the ballpark, those two chowderheads decided to build a campfire right there on the field. They even wrapped themselves in blankets and pretended to shiver. The shenanigans didn't stop there. Pepper once saw a hillbilly band outside the ballpark and snuck them into the clubhouse. Poor Frank had a regular hootenanny on his hands. Sometimes Dizzy's antics went too far. Early in the 1934 season, he was bellyaching about how much the Cardinals paid him and his brother Paul, the team's second best pitcher. It got so bad, the Dean brothers decided not to join the Cards for a road trip. Instead, they parked their cabooses under a tree and ate fried chicken as the team's train chugged by. Frankie Frisch was mad, but Dizzy wasn't ready to apologize. In fact, he tore up his uniform. This just wouldn't do. Diz, Frank said, you gotta be a leader for the Cardinals. You're the greatest pitcher in the league, but you need to be a first-rate teammate too. Frankie believed there was nothing Dizzy Dean couldn't do. Like when he promised a hospital full of sick kids he'd strike out Giants batter Bill Terry with the bases loaded. He did it. Or when he swore he and Paul would win at least 45 games in a season. He did that too. He rubbed elbows with fans, he rallied his teammates, and he bamboozled hitters. Dizzy hurled the Gashouse Gang right into the 34 series against the Tigers. But he did more than pitch. In Game 4, Dizzy volunteered to pinch run. He was hightailing it to first when the pitcher turned to throw for a double play. Whack! The ball hit him square in the head. Up in the press box, I was relieved that Diz was okay. When I asked him how he was feeling, he said, "The doc x-rayed my head. He found nothing." On October 9th, 1934, Diz took the mound for the deciding game. He zipped pitch after pitch past hitters. In the 6th inning, fans got mad at Cards outfielder Joe Medwick for a hard slide and started throwing all kinds of rubbish onto the field. "It's like they got themselves a grocery store right under their seats," Dizzy shouted to Pepper. Once the fans cooled down, Diz was ready to bring home the win. With 2 strikes in the 9th, he wound up and delivered a fastball. As the pitch whizzed toward the plate, Dizzy turned to face his team. He didn't have to watch the ball. Diz knew he'd thrown the winning strike. He heard the bat slice clean through the air. The Cardinals won the World Series, with Dizzy Dean leading the way. The 1934 St. Louis Cardinals were world champions. Dizzy once told me, "It ain't bragging if you can back it up." I guess you can say he never did much bragging, because our Dizzy could always back it up. Thank you guys for reading Dizzy Dean and the Gashouse Gang with me. I hope you enjoyed the story. A few questions for you guys to consider after reading. So we know that fiction stories are made up stories that are not true, and nonfiction stories are true stories. So what do you think Dizzy Dean and the Gashouse Gang is? Fiction or nonfiction? Remember, it's the story of the St. Louis Cardinals in the 1930s. Dizzy's kind of a fun main character of the book. We see him do some kind of crazy things during the story. He's silly, he's ambitious, he's talented. Can you guys think of some other adjectives to describe the character of Dizzy Dean? So, adjectives are descriptive words. What words would you use to describe Dizzy? And of course, a big part of the story is Dizzy learning how to be a leader for the St. Louis Cardinals. We saw that moment in the book where he tears up his uniform and he's really not acting like much of a leader. So, what do you guys think are some ways that you can be a leader, either in sports or in the classroom or in your own families? What are some good characteristics of leaders, and what lesson does Dizzy learn in the end? So thank you guys for reading with me. I hope you enjoyed the story, and go Cardinals.